interesting for you to also incorporate some kind of philosophical discussion about music and about, you know, how you think about music. What is we touched on a little bit earlier about, you know, what is the power of music? How does it work for me? How does it work for Rosie? You know, we perform together sometimes, but Rosie has her own genres that she focuses on, and I wanted to bring that in as well. She's also working with film. Sometimes we collaborate, sometimes we do our own thing. So, and also feel free to, if you want to ask a question after we play something and we discuss it. What I really wanted to focus on are two things. One is improvisation, because that in a way is the basis of all creativity. And what does that mean? And secondly, in very much the same way as I think the lady here asked the question about beauty, within music, I would say, and I've played every kind of music from free jazz, concrete, you know, some classical music, a lot of jazz, rock and roll, blues. I love all those genres very, very much. Ultimately, I find now, maybe it's also a thing of as you get older, that the thing that I like the most about music is melody. And in that respect, also simplicity. That some of the most beautiful, profound pieces of music are actually very simple. It may be that the process to arrive at simplicity is very complicated, and something that, you know, I remember when I was 18, wanting to be a writer, and I wanted to write like Ernest Hemingway, and I found the story the other day, my Ernest Hemingway story that I wrote when I was 18, and of course it's really terrible, because it's an 18-year-old human being trying to be older, significant. But what I loved about him and his style was the simplicity of the use of language. And I find I'm constantly battling with technique and technology in every sphere of art, where each generation that comes up becomes technically better. So young musicians now coming from school, or, you know, young jazz musicians, they can play amazingly well, like Coltrane or Charlie Parker or Wynton Marsalis. They have amazing, as we say in music, chops. They have amazing technique. Often they cannot play slowly. They cannot play a tune. And this is, to me, becomes more and more interesting. It's like, if you say that the basis of music is melody, I think it is, you know, then how do you teach yourself to be simple? So some of the things we're going to play are quite simple, some of them are quite complicated. And then each time a little bit of a dialogue, but not too long.